Alright, boys, we ready? Okay, let's do this. Going live in 3, 2, 1. Okay, today's focus: a myth, legend, and overall just a man, Chuck Jones. Born September 21st, 1912. He was an alright kid. Took up after his father a bit after they moved to California. His father got into a lot of different investments, and each time he bought himself a new drafting kit. Pencils, pens, papers, the works. That's what got Chuck interested in drawing in the first place. Now, let's fast forward a bit. 1931, we see Chuck graduating the Trinidad Art Institute down in Southern California. Now, moving along a bit further, one of his old friends from college calls, Fritz Freelang, in 1932. And that's where he got his first job in animation. Got a job working as a cell washer. Then, started moving up. Got a job as a background painter then. Followed that up with inker, who at the time, you probably didn't know, the guy who takes the initial animation drawing, puts it on the cell, so it can be converted into a proper film. And then finally after that, an in-betweener, until 1933, where he's taken in under Warner Bros. And starts working under Leon Schlesinger. Schlesinger? I'll get it. The man who, ironically, would go to inspire Daffy Duck and a number of his creations. And that brings me to the list of why this man is so influential. He created Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Elmer Fudd, Marvin the Martian, Pepe Le Pew, Porky Pig, the Roadrunner, and Wile E. Coyote. And those are just his most well-known. He created about a dozen others. He was the character designer for some of the most well-known and influential characters in animation history, as well as, arguably, some of the longest-lasting personalities in animation. I say that because, compared to their competition at the time, who was Mickey Mouse and Walt Disney Studios, a lot of the characters they had from that era, who persist now, have changed a lot since then. However, on the contrary, the Warner Bros. Characters old Chuck made during this time kept their personality for decades after. And this basically also shows what the Warners and Chuck had basically near perfected in their work with the Looney Tunes. And that was basically taking the vaudeville and cartoon slapstick comedy that we'd all come to associate with cartoons and refining it into what we associate with it now. And you can see this even in some of his early works. And that brings us to 1938 and the release of the first film he directed for Warner Bros., known as The Night Watchman. To quickly summarize the plot, Sniffles is a young boy cat whose dad works as a night watchman for the house. Thing is, his dad gets sick, so he says, "Alright son, you've gotta guard the kitchen tonight." So, throws on a hat and a medal on the kid, tells him to go out and guard the kitchen. He tries, but a bunch of rats start ransacking the kitchen and turning the kid's head around left and right as they fast talk him into basically losing track of everything. Until eventually the kid gets a backbone, ends up tricking the rest of the mice out, and throws them back in their hole, all while a bunch of hijinks ensues. Now, admittedly for that film, the comedy is a bit underwhelming as he's still refining his craft, but then we really see what he's made of on July 27th, 1940, with the debut of A Wild Hare and the official debut of the character we know as Bugs Bunny. Now, it's one of the classic Bugs Bunny sketches. Elmer Fudd, the old bastard, is going hunting rabbits, or should I say, wabbits, and basically finds Bugs' hole, starts poking around where he shouldn't, and after annoying Bugs to the point where he decides he has to take care of things, a series of hijinks ensues, combined with fast-talking moments, general trickster antics, and Elmer Fudd getting his comeuppance by his own actions, and Bugs sending him running and packing for the hills. So yeah, Chuck Jones is a very influential man in the field of animation, known for creating some of the most iconic characters you will ever think of when it comes to animation. And don't you ever forget that. But I think I'll leave it there. That's all, folks. See you next time.